and welcome to HCS Connects. I'm Kelly Gorel with Hampton City Schools. Today we have Dr. Kate Maxlow with us. She is our Director of Innovation and Professional Learning, and I'm so excited to have her here as a guest because she's going to tell us about something that's very exciting that's coming to Hampton City Schools for the 2022-2023 school year. So welcome to HCS Connects.
Thank you so much for having me.
And so HCS, I feel like we're always forward thinking. Thinking outside of the box, bringing new things. We've had the Academies of Hampton for the last several years. Now we're embarking on a new adventure for our elementary students.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about this new adventure.
Sure. So we're calling it the Future Learning Experience Program, or FLEX program for short. It is a new virtual learning program for people who do not want their students to necessarily be in school. So it's a virtual learning where the kids spend about 2 to 3 hours a day in live Zoom lessons with our amazing HCS teachers. And then we provide activities, but the rest of the day is really up for the families to decide what activities they want to do and how they want to structure the rest of their day.
So this is for elementary.
Yes.
So we're talking grades kindergarten through 5th grade.
Correct.
Now, we know that we've been dealing with the pandemic since the March of 2020, and we had to all switch very quickly to virtual instruction, all divisions across the Commonwealth and throughout the country. And we're very excited that we've gotten back to in-person learning. So why this program?
Sure. We found that there were some students who just really loved virtual learning. My son, he's in 7th grade now, and he was one of them. He loved that he got to work very much at his own pace, and he liked being able to have a choice of activities. And we heard from other parents who said the exact same thing, that their students really were thriving in a virtual environment. And not only that, but we've had almost 800 students in virtual learning just this year. So we knew that it was something that, for a variety of reasons, was working for our students, and we just wanted to make sure that we had one more option. Not to say that it's better than in-person learning, it's just different, and different students thrive in different environments. So because we believe in every child every day, whatever it takes, we want to make sure that we offer as many of those environments as possible.
Well, and how is this different from what our families experienced back in March of 2020 or even last school year? Because I know March of 2020 to the end of the year, that was just a huge shift for education, where we all pivoted very quickly. Then we were more prepared for last year for those students that wanted to stay virtual. But how is this going to be different next year from what our families experienced in the past?
Absolutely. So it is very different. One of the things that we are doing in order to truly engage students is that we are ensuring that every single live lesson that we do is as highly interactive as possible. So there's not a ton of teacher talk. There's a lot of teacher talking with students and students talking with students. But probably my favorite part of it is the storylines. So what we do for each grade level is there's a storyline that kind of links together all of the different content. So for instance, in 3rd grade, they find a time traveling device and they accidentally get transported back into ancient China, and then they have to travel through ancient China, Egypt, Greece, Rome, and Mali to find the parts to fix the time travel machine so they can get back to the future. And there's all these puzzles that they have to solve, and our reading will be connected to it. We're going to be using the math to solve a lot of these puzzles. And so every piece of the content is connected through this storyline that we do every Friday. The students will do some sort of immersive adventure, so a role play, an escape room, a simulation, puzzle quests, all super interesting, fun things where they're using everything they learned throughout the week. But it gives them that interest in something to hold on to and help to make all the connections.
And when you keep saying the content, you're talking, what our students are also learning in person as far as your English language arts, your math, your science, your social studies. So students K through 5, even though it's this new online program, they'll still learn those skills.
Yes.
But they're going to use them in this storyline.
Correct. Yes. We are still fully meeting all of the SOL, the standards of learning requirements, and we are actually following our HCS pacing as well, so that if for some reason a student, they do need to transfer back to in-person learning at any point, they can just pick up exactly where they left off. No worries about trying to, the transition should be seamless.
So they're doing English language arts, math, science, social studies. They've got this storyline that sounds absolutely amazing. But So how was this developed? Did Hampton City Schools develop this viable curriculum? Did we purchase something from somewhere else?
No, this is all homegrown. So I'll be honest, one of the first things that I did during the pandemic was say, you know what, I got to figure out this virtual teaching thing myself. And so we used a lot of our employees' kids and invited them to lessons where we just tried a whole bunch of new things. And if they fell flat, okay, not the end of the world. But what we found was that we could invent these new ways of doing virtual learning. And then I personally started working in the evenings and on the weekends using another platform where I was just doing tons and tons of different virtual lessons and trying out these things like, okay, well, how do you do a role play online with 10 students who are all in different areas of the country and sometimes even the world in this particular case, and really make it so that they all feel connected and they all participate in the discussion, et cetera. And so then we took everything that we learned and we are creating it all from scratch. We have some of the most talented curriculum directors I have ever seen. And bless their hearts, the two main instructional designers, they have brought me stuff and we've said, okay, you know what, this is almost there, let's keep working on it. And sometimes they brought it to me half a dozen times. And we're just like, you know what, this needs to be the best ever, because on virtual, you also have other distractions. There's the whole internet right there in front of you. Your dog could be barking.
I was gonna say your cat's jumping on your lap, or yes, there are definitely other distractions.
Exactly. So we said this has to be the most interesting that we can make it, and I can truly say it is nothing like I've ever seen before in curriculum. Anyone we've showed it to has just said, I didn't know learning could be like that. That's amazing. So we're hoping that it's going to blow virtual education out of the water.
That's so exciting. Yeah. So we're writing our curriculum. We're going to blow this out of the water. How are we ensuring, though, that we're still hitting the standards of learning and the standards of quality for Virginia? Absolutely.
So the standards of quality, I'll address that piece first. One of the big things is, do we have enough instructional minutes? And so we were very, very careful to make sure that the synchronous live lessons plus the asynchronous independent lessons, that those add up to the required 330 minutes or 5.5 hours per day. So even though families are getting to choose what they want to do during that asynchronous time, they do need to do, for instance, 20 minutes of independent reading or family reading or math games or what have you. So we're going to meet the standards of quality that way, specifically with instructional minutes. For the standards of learning, I got to be honest, the best way that I found to teach my kids when I was teaching was through games. They retain so much more when it's fun and when they have an emotional connection to it. Not only that, but they're a lot more motivated to actually learn things when you say, well, guys, you really need to focus on place value because it's probably going to be part of our puzzle this Friday that you need to do in your simulation. They're actually going to work on it. And I've even had kids do extra work and write me extra papers and things just because they know that it might help them when it comes time to do the role play. So everything is very aligned. We are still gonna do even a little bit of test prep, not heavy hitting. And when we do, it's gonna be more open-ended. So talk to me about how did you solve this problem? Why did you solve it that way? Not so much just, okay, the correct answer was A. Did everybody get that? Moving on. Or having kids make up their own style of questions, or gamifying it so that it's not just a do this because your teacher told you. We're going to make it as fun as we can while still giving you those experiences you need to be successful.
And they do still need to take their standards of learning, their SOL tests, correct, at the completion of when they would and if they were in person.
Correct, yes, because we are a Virginia public school division, yes, our students are required to take the SOL tests, and that is the one time that they have to come onto the Hampton campus. Everything else can be done virtually at home, but at the end of the year when it's time for those SOL tests, they will have to come to the campus to take them.
But all other assessments can be online. We figured out how to do that as well.
We did, we sure did.
So, and I've got so many other questions in regards to teachers and the families, but it's kind of a great point to ask, well, is this specifically for Hampton City School students then, if everything can be done online?
So honestly, because it all can be done online, we can take students from anywhere in the state of Virginia. There are some qualifications to that. So for instance, you have to be able to come to Hampton to take your SOLs at the end of the year. And we can't provide transportation for that. So Also devices, if you live within the Hampton geographic boundaries within Hampton City, we're going to provide you with a Chromebook. We can provide you, we can help you get free or discounted high-speed internet access through Cox. But anywhere outside of the Hampton geographic area, you would have to provide your own device and your own Wi-Fi. But there's, because
the opportunity's there.
Because it's virtual.
The opportunity is there for K through 5. If I live on the south side, somewhere else in the peninsula, or like you just said, anywhere within the Commonwealth of Virginia, it's just, I would have to be in Hampton for SOL tests at the end of the year, which we've got a lot of great hotels and tourism here, so it's not hard to come here.
Right? I mean, we're right by the water. It's gorgeous.
It is very, very pretty. So, and you also said, families are very involved. How are families involved in this program?
So there's a few different things. One thing is that we are actually requiring families to attend an information session online, of course, before their application will be considered. Just because we want to make sure that they understand
what it entails.
Because it is not, it has a lot of family choice, which means that families have to make the choices. When you're in person, the teacher pretty much handles the students' learning for about 6 hours a day, but when they're at home, especially with K through 5, they're going to take a little bit more with checking in, making sure that they're doing the work, and because our curriculum has so many learning games to make it fun, well, somebody's got to be playing those games with the 5-year-old. They're not going to be playing them by themselves all day. And not only that, but because we're not seeing the kids in person and we're only seeing them online from 2 to 3 hours a day, we are requiring that parents and guardians meet with the teacher at least once a month on conference days so that we can just work together to get an insight into what's working for the student, where they still need help, et cetera.
So who are the teachers? I mean, because I know we've done virtual and gone through Virtual Virginia, Edgenuity, different pieces this year, and those have not been Hampton City School teachers. So who are the teachers for our Flex program?
Well, we don't know yet because we're in the middle of hiring them.
But we're hiring them for Hampton City Schools.
We are hiring them they will be Hampton City Schools teachers. Yes, they will report directly to Hampton City Schools. And so that allows us to really support them and support our families at the same time, and to provide them with the curriculum, to check in with the students more so. But yeah, we are looking currently for one teacher in grades K through 5. Our applications are open through April.
So beginning of April, looking for a teacher in kindergarten, a teacher in first grade. So again, now we're going to have one class in each grade level, K through 5. There's going to be obviously enrollment caps because you can't have too many. You want small group in there as well. But why only K-5?
We originally looked at trying to do middle and high school as well, and we want to do middle and high school. But because we are building this entire program from scratch, we felt that it was important to limit the number of grade levels to start with so that we could really have high quality. And we also knew that there weren't as many good options for our elementary students, and it's so crucial, especially with K2, that they really have those fundamental skills and understandings.
Right.
And so that's why we decided to start with elementary.
So what type of teachers are you looking for then, if you're starting with elementary? And you said it's crucial for K2, so what type of teachers are your best teachers that you're looking for online curriculum like this?
Okay. Number one, they have to be very excited to call family members frequently, even if it's, for every possible reason that it could be, email, just a lot of family contact. That's going to be essential for the students to succeed. But also they need to have a lot of energy. One of the things that we found, it's hard enough to stand and watch somebody who doesn't have a lot of energy, but virtually that's nearly impossible. And so I know that when I teach kindergarten lessons, I'm up and I'm jumping around and we're dancing and we're singing, and everything is a little bit exaggerated just because it's hard to keep a 5-year-old's attention.
Right.
And so yeah, that's what obviously they have to be technology savvy as well. That's important. You got to be able to flip between multiple screens and tabs pretty quickly. And just that belief that students can succeed and they will succeed in a virtual environment as long as they have the right supports.
So that's all great. I absolutely agree with you. They've got to have high energy, they've got to be tech savvy, but they also have to hold a Virginia teaching license, correct? That
is the thing I forgot to say. Yes, they do. They have to have, because of the standards of quality, they do have to have a Virginia teaching license.
But it doesn't mean they have to live in Virginia. In all honesty, we live in an area that's, with the military, we've got families that come in and out all the time. and hold Virginia teaching license. So if you've been relocated, as long as you're awake during those hours, if you're on the West Coast, you're kind of still up and meeting the East Coast hours. You just have to have a Virginia teaching license.
High-speed internet.
High-speed internet.
And your own device. We're not going to ship computers off to
even
California.
more exciting to think that, I mean, really, if I had to relocate because of whatever reason, my spouse, had a different job, and I'm across the country, states away, but I still want to be a Hampton City Schools teacher. I mean, I could be hired by Hampton City Schools and live in Wyoming or wherever, as long as I've got my Virginia teaching license.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So
that's even a different way that we're kind of being innovative and looking at, not just for the students, but for the teachers as well.
And the teachers never have to come on campus. So if they live in Wyoming, they don't have to worry about making it to Hampton City Schools. And all of our meetings are going to be done online. So yeah, it's a truly virtual teaching experience. That being said, if we have teachers who live nearby who do prefer to come onto campus, sometimes there's things going on at your house.
You don't want your cat jumping in your lap, or you want that professional classroom space.
Right. Then we do have spaces for teachers to do that as well.
So much information, so exciting. I can't wait to see all of this next year. But there are some deadlines coming up right now as far as, students applying, if they want to be considered for a spot, or teachers applying to be a flex teacher. So I know that you have some informational meetings coming up, and you also made a comment, not just that you want parents to come to an informational meeting. There's an opportunity for students to actually take a practice course to see if they like it.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want people to just take our word for it. I mean, we truly believe in the value of the lessons and the products that we're creating. So we have actual sample student class sessions where students can join and they can take a class, and just so that the students can see if it's something that they would be interested in, and so that parents can see if it would work for them and their young people as well. We don't want anyone to just have to rely on the fact that we say it's great. We actually want to show you it's great.
And if I'm a prospective teacher, could I join as well just to see how that's run, to see if I like that?
For the prospective teachers, we are going to have teacher information sessions where we show them how that's done. We try not to invite too many adults to lessons with students because that can make the students feel a little...
they won't want to share or jump in front of a computer as often.
Yeah, exactly. 5-year-olds get a little wary when there are too many adults. Yeah, in the class with them. But like I said, for the teacher information sessions, we're actually going to show them a little bit more than you can see even on the website, and even have them do some practice lessons.
So again, Flex, and I'm going to let you say out what it stands for and why you went that direction as we end, so everybody understands Flex.
Sure. So it is the Future Learning Experience, FLEX and experience, program. And the point is that, our world has changed, and we know that because the world has changed and it's not going back anytime soon, that we need to change, and we need to have as many potential environments for students to be successful in as we can provide. So virtual learning, for those of our students who absolutely thrived in that setting, we want to make sure that we have the most engaging virtual learning available for them.
And as we end, where can our families that are interested go to find out more information?
Yeah, they can just type into the browser of their choice, hcsflex.com. You don't have to put in any dashes or periods, just hcsflex.com, and you'll go to our website where you can find our parent manual, our teacher manual, the application is up there, all of the information for the family and the teacher sessions and the student sample sessions, everything is on that website.
Well, that's so exciting, Kate. In all honesty, I joke because I started out as a teacher and went into administration and now PR marketing, but I've always kept my teaching license up. And I'm pre-K through 8, any subject.
Okay.
So just to put that there, and I'm tech savvy. So I can't wait to see what comes of this, because my next life, I really might want to be a flex teacher.
Well,
I can jump around in front of
we can always hire you for some, guest lessons.
Oh, there you go.
If you want to commit.
Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
And I know that this is going to be great information for our families and our teachers and the community and beyond to hear about.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for joining us on HCS Connects. And remember, it's easy to stay connected.